She forced herself to take a breath, to suppress the rising, screaming panic. Did she have any other options? Any? Yes, maybe one. The Swiss embassy. The United States didn't have an embassy in Iran, but the Swiss did. Moreover, the Swiss were designated as a protecting power for U.S. interests in Iran, meaning that if some visiting American got into trouble, the Swiss would do their best to help him out. But what she wanted the Swiss to do went far beyond helping some tourist who had lost his passport. The Swiss embassy was close, less than a mile from where she was, and if she was careful, if she used the alleys and ducked through buildings, she might make it there and she might live. They would know if she entered the embassy, of course, and it would cause the Swiss enormous political problems, but maybe they would provide her sanctuary until her own people could get her out of the country through diplomatic channels. God knows what sort of trade they'd have to make for her, and she couldn't even imagine the international uproar that would ensue, but she didn't care about any of that. She was too young to die. The way she'd lived the last 6 years, she'd never had the chance to experience the joys of being young. Her youth had been stolen from her, so they owed her, and to hell with the political fallout that would occur if she ran to the Swiss. She had done her job, and now the diplomats and the damn politicians could do theirs. Her mind made up, she exited the useless car, ran to the side door of the garage and threw it open, and was immediately blinded by the headlights of 2 vehicles. Men armed with machine pistols closed in on her. She just stood there, head bowed, shoulders slumped into defeat, unable to move. She could feel something draining from her body, and that something was hope. There were no options left. There was no place to run or hide. She wished more than anything else that she had a gun. If she had had one, she would have killed herself. It was over. She knew what was going to happen next. She knew how she was going to die. Chapter 1. Jacob Lafontaine, director of the Central Intelligence Agency, had been a second-string middle linebacker at Notre Dame. At age 52, some of the muscle from his playing days had turned to fat, but not that much. He was still a bull of a man. 6'2", broad shoulders, strong arms, a deep chest. His legs were thick through the thighs, but short in proportion to his upper body. He had dark hair, muddy brown eyes set beneath the shelf of a heavy brow, and an aggressive chin. He rarely smiled, and he intimidated everyone who worked for him. He looked up in annoyance when Sinclair entered his office. Sinclair was one of his deputies, a fussy nitpicker whom Lafontaine didn't like but who was too good at his job to fire. He always looked anxious when he talked to Lafontaine, but today he looked more than anxious. He looked ill, pale and waxen, as if he might be sick to his stomach at any moment. Sinclair held up a disc. "You need to see this," he said. "What is it?" Lafontaine asked. "A video that was delivered to the embassy in Kabul. I have a meeting in 5 minutes." "You need to see this," Sinclair said, surprising Lafontaine with his firmness. Lafontaine made an impatient get-on-with-it gesture, and Sinclair put the disc into the DVD player. "Brace yourself. It's bad," Sinclair said. Lafontaine looked over at Sinclair, confused by the comment, but at that moment the video began. It showed the upper body of a woman, wearing a typical Muslim robe and headdress. A veil covered her entire face, including her eyes. The camera pulled back and showed that the woman was kneeling, swaying slightly as if she was having a hard time maintaining her balance. Her hands were behind her back, and Lafontaine thought they might be tied. The camera focused again on the woman's head, and then a man's hand appeared and pulled the veil away from her face. "Oh, Jesus," Lafontaine said. The woman had been beaten so severely that it was impossible to tell who she was or what she had originally looked like. Her left eye was swollen completely shut, the eye socket obviously shattered. Her right eye was almost closed, and the part of the eye that was visible was filled with blood. Her lips were split, her jaw appeared to be broken,